Live team coverage now from Air 7 HD in the crime scene. What investigators are now looking at there. Scott.
Yeah, and Brandy, what we are seeing now is evidence, at least some speculation here, that there could have been quite a gun battle. Now, a lot of times in these crime scenes, we see these evidence markers. Those are shell casings. I can't tell for certain, and we haven't got that from the LAPD, but if that is the case, then multiple gunshots were fired here. We believe that the SUV in the intersection, once again, not confirmed from the LAPD, but we believe that was the vehicle of the LAPD, the off-duty LAPD officer that was shot and killed here at the scene. So there's no search for any suspects at this point in time, and the information on possible suspects is pretty thin, but there certainly is a large-scale investigation. 87th Street in between Beach and Graham has been shut down in both directions, and officers are taking a look at everything they have here to try and lead them to possibly getting these suspects into custody. But boy, you look at all those shell casings, possible shell casings, all those evidence markers, and usually most of the crime scenes we see, when we see that many small little evidence markers out, those are shell casings from shots that were fired. We'll have to try and get more information on that as we get more on this story.
Hello.
Investigators say the 27-year-old was off duty last night looking for homes with his girlfriend in the neighborhood around Beach and 87th Street when they were confronted by three men in a pickup truck. At least one was armed and opened fire when Arroyos pulled his own weapon.
This man died a hero trying to defend himself and his girlfriend.
Deputies rushed Arroyos to the hospital last night, taking him in their squad car rather than waiting for an ambulance. But he died from his injuries.
I spoke with his mother, who's an immigrant, last night at the hospital, and stepfather. My heart is broken. All grieve.
LAPD Chief Michael Moore says they have recovered Arroyo's gun and one other. LAPD Chief Michael Moore says they have recovered Arroyo's gun and one other weapon, but they are still searching for the suspects, hoping that someone will come forward with information that will help in the investigation.
He had a promising
Was shot and killed last night in South LA, and despite desperate efforts to save his life, killed last night in South LA.
Police, he's a good friend, he's a good brother. 10 years, little boy, and he say always, I want a police, I want a police.
A mother in mourning after her son, an LAPD officer, is killed in a street robbery all over a gold chain.
She says she can't fathom why someone would take a life over a $200 piece of jewelry. And now 4 people under arrest in connection with that killing. Good evening. Welcome to Fox 11 News at 5. I'm Alex Michaels.
And I'm Marla Tejas here for Christine Devine. The LAPD and Sheriff's Office say they worked round the clock to track down the suspects, and their investigation led to the arrest of 4 in connection with the shooting death of off-duty LAPD officer Fernando Arroyos. The 27-year-old, a 3-year veteran of the force, was shot and killed Monday night while house hunting in South LA with his girlfriend. LA County Sheriff Alex Villanueva announced the arrest today. The suspects' names have yet to be disclosed.
Those arrests come just hours before a planned vigil outside the LAPD Olympic Division where Arroyo works.
Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez, she's live in Pico Union where that vigil is about to get underway. An emotional night, Christina.
Yes, indeed. The Chief Moore, is supposed to be here. Hopefully we'll get a little more on those arrests, but I can tell you that after only working here 3 years, Officer Arroyos was already making his mark. You can see the flags are flying at half-staff. You know, he was the son of Salvadorian immigrants. He graduated with honors from Berkeley. Harvard wanted him, but he wanted to stay and help the community he had grown up in. We talked to his mom today. Listen.
You were supposed to be looking at the house with them? ¿Usted se estuviera con ellos?
Sí, that's right. The mother of LAPD officer Fernando Arroyos, killed while checking out a house for sale with his girlfriend on an off-duty night, was supposed to be with them. Instead, she got a call summoning her to the hospital where the 27-year-old was taken after exchanging gunfire in an apparent robbery gone bad.
Somebody say my son is dying, pass away. me. It's terrible for me.
She lost her son after just losing her own mother.
My heart is just broken because it's, I tell it's only one son. And I tell my mom is passed away 1 month ago.
An altar sits in the corner of the small apartment where Membreno combs through photos and tells us this is where Fernando grew up.
Little boy, and he say always, I want a police, I want a police. He go to Berkeley, he graduation for honors and everything. But he say, I want a police, and he's police.
No one here can fathom why someone would shoot her son, seemingly to rob him of the gold chain he was wearing around his neck.
Say, why? Because it's only for robbery one chain. That chain is at $200. For $200, I take the life of my son.
For $200, I take the life of my son, is what she says. By the way, the